The Sentinel Homes Trans-Tasman series is proudly brought to you by Sentinel Homes and Hockey New Zealand in association with Vantage Windows and Doors, Computer Concepts Limited, Ford New Zealand, and Sky Sport, your home for hockey.
Well, hello and welcome to Massey University in Palmerston North for the 2021 Sentinel Homes Trans-Tasman Hockey Series. It's a pleasure to be with you for game one of a four-match series, and we're going to start with the men's match between the Vantage Black Sticks and the Kookaburras from Australia. These teams have been waiting so patiently for the resumption of international hockey due to COVID-19. It's been well over 14 months since both teams have played, so this match is most welcome ahead of Tokyo 2021. And a special mention to you if you're watching in Australia this evening, particularly those in Victoria right now. Fingers crossed these teams will provide some good action across the series. Glenn Lama's my name, and Lincoln Churchill's with me as well, former Black Sticks player with the call right across the series. And Lincoln, we've got a glorious night for hockey here in Palmerston North. It's cold, but it's still, and it's nice and fine. So great conditions for this match.
Certainly is, Glenn. Beautiful Manawatu conditions, and these teams will be absolutely chomping at the bit to get into this, so should be in for a very exciting series.
Yeah, big series coming up because these players are playing for 16 squad spots in the Olympics. Both of these squads are going to be confirmed in the coming weeks, so lots to play for these players. Let's have a look at the two lineups for this match, and we've got the Australian team first of all. A lot of experience being built there around Matt Dawson, number 6, and of course number 11, the captain, Eddie Ockenden. He's the most capped Australian player of all time. He's playing his 367th game this evening, and a special mention to number 14 from Wagga Wagga, Dylan Martin. He's the only new cap in this Australian lineup tonight, so congratulations to him. And looking forward to seeing him in action. Here is the Vantage Black Sticks side to be captained by Blair Tarrant. We've got 3 new caps in this lineup tonight. Number 2, Oliver McIntyre from Wellington. Number 9, Sam Hiha from the Hawke's Bay. And the other new cap from here in the Manawatu, number 24, Sean Finlay. And it's going to be a really good opportunity to see Kane Russell back playing in this New Zealand lineup. He's just returned from Germany. So we're not too far away from the national anthems. You can imagine the excitement in these two camps, Lincoln, with so long out. Gee whiz, there'll be nerves of excitement right across these two teams.
Yep, as I mentioned earlier, they'll be chomping at the bit. Certainly fizzing for this one, and a few boys on debut, always a very special and exciting moment, so there'll certainly be a few little butterflies and a few stomachs down there.
Well, there certainly will be, and a good crowd, as you can see, built in here across the far side of the field ahead of these two matches. Coming up, we've got the women's match at 7:30 this evening. This one just about to start. We just saw shots of the umpires there. David Tomlinson on the right of screen, in fact on the left of screen, my mistake, and Simon Taylor on the right. Both international umpires, both off to Tokyo to officiate at the Olympic Games in about 2 months' time.
They're the only two with their tickets, only two on the field tonight with their tickets 100% booked.
Indeed, they have been booked. We're delighted too that long-term partner of hockey, Sentinel Homes, has joined us as naming rights sponsor for the Sentinel Homes Trans-Tasman series. We'd also like to acknowledge too the Vantage Windows and Doors, the principal partner of Hockey New Zealand and Black Sticks naming right partner. And Hockey New Zealand would also like to acknowledge too Computer Concepts Limited and Ford, the driving force behind the Vantage Black Sticks, and Sky Sport, of course, the home for hockey. As the two teams line up now for the national anthems. Blair Tarrant coming on to lead the Black Sticks for this game. Yes, conditions are cool here in Palmerston North. Winter is upon us. Let's hope it's not going to be a long one. You watched Game of Thrones, Lincoln?
Sadly not.
Oh well, I've given half the plot away to you right there.
Yeah.
We're standing by for the national anthems. And it's going to be the national anthem of Australia, first of all. So the two teams going through their final preparations now for this match. Game one of the four-match series. We'll have the start of the match for you very shortly. As Simon Taylor just has a few issues with that coin. I'm sure the players will be a lot more cohesive than he was with his coin toss. As Eddie Ockenden and Blair Tarrant get ready with their final preps as we come back for the start of the match right after this.
A new home is one of life's great adventures. Sentinel will help you enjoy the journey. Sentinel Homes. Design, build, enjoy.
Introducing the new Ford Escape ST Line X. Packed with the latest features so you can get moving, do more and go further. Now available with Ford Assured Future Value Finance. No deposit needed, and at the end of your payment term, choose from a range of options, including upgrading to a new Ford. Search Ford Escape now. Ford, bring on tomorrow.
And holding me back.
been kind to our men on cricket's biggest stages.
He's got it! England have won the World Cup!
Now, Sky Sport proudly presents the biggest stage of all, the inaugural ICC World Test Championship Final.
India, incredible!
Don't miss the Black Caps versus India.
This is the ultimate test.
Live June 18, only on Sky Sport.
We're all set for a start here in Palmerston North for Game 1 of the Sentinel Homes Trans-Tasman series between New Zealand and Australia. Vital match play ahead of the Olympics is upon us right now. And it's going to be New Zealand playing from left to right. We've got glorious conditions here, not a breath of wind. As we're underway with New Zealand in possession, and straight away Nick Woods goes high and handsome right down into the Australian defensive quarter. New Zealand does not have a good record against Australia in the last 10 years. They've only beaten them twice in the last decade. So New Zealand are going to have their hands full. And it'll be some achievement if they could post a win over Australia in this match and perhaps go on and win the series. So based on what we've seen in the last 10 years, Lincoln, you'd have to say Australia firm favourites for the series.
Yep, and on world ranking as well. They're one of the best in the business, Australia.
They certainly are, as they come down towards the quarter now of New Zealand. Nice pass into the circle. That shot was from outside the circle, so it's been lifted, and it's going to be a free hit for New Zealand. Australia look good bringing the ball out of their own half.
Yeah, very good ball players. Very comfortable, confident on the ball. Had not too much trouble progressing that down the field. It's the final pass letting them down. It's Australia sitting in half court here, just allowing New Zealand the space at the back.
That was Steve Edwards winning the free hit for New Zealand. New Zealand being muscled off the ball. Good defensive work from Australia as they look to swing and find some space down this left-hand side of the field. This is Ogilvie coming forward. Good run from him. He's been allowed to really run to the top of the circle here. No whistle as players go sprawling, and finally New Zealand gets the free hit.
Dawson might have got a little bit lucky bringing that ball out of defence. A bit of a errant pass from him, but it managed to find a teammate.
Terrence with the captain's armband now for New Zealand. Jeunesse couldn't be found with that pass, and now Australia again looking to exploit down the left here. Blake Govers. And now it's back there to Dawson. Very experienced players at the back here for Australia. Dawson and Ockenden. They'll really run a tight ship at the back. Woods jumps on the loose ball, but Jacob Smith couldn't get it. Must mention too, Nick Wilson playing his first game in 5 years for the Black Sticks today as Australia get into the circle here. There's a reverse stick shot, and again it's Tarrant who's been clobbered there. And unfortunately, that is a bad one there from Tom Wickham, who's collected the New Zealand captain in the face.
It's really nasty. Really nasty.
And right at the start of the match too, Lincoln. New Zealand would be very reluctant to lose someone of Tarrant's skill and experience this early in the match.
Make for good viewing this. That is just horrid. It's quite a remarkable act of physics to actually get that high that quickly. Like normally what you tell your defenders in those situations is to get as close as you can, because it's normally the safest place to be, but not on that occasion. And
well, Tarrant is going to receive some attention. Oh, what a blow there for New Zealand to lose him. Here's Russell on the ball. Didn't see him in the recent North-South series as he was playing in Europe. Of course, these European teams have been playing, haven't they, with the resumption of the Pro League, Lincoln. So yeah. I think both federations, New Zealand and Australia, will be very keen to get some action. Try and keep pace. Now Australia trapped in the corner.
Well, it's I think why you've seen this series happen. Both desperate to get some gameplay in before Tokyo. So things came together pretty quickly once the travel bubble opened up.
Nice play from Finn Ogilvie again there. That was really solid from him there. Nice and composed play from Ogilvie. Playing his 110th game for Australia. This is Martin, the new cap. Congratulations to him. We must mention him again. He's from Wagga Wagga. So well done to him. Yeah, that came off the foot there. So it's going to be New Zealand ball right on the halfway. And now it's been hit away. There are appeals there for a card from Ingles, but didn't happen.
Probably appeals that were fair enough too. Pretty blatant. I mean, the first one may have been before the whistle, but the second one was certainly very blatant.
Well, Woods has found Ingles in space here as he approaches the top of the circle. Flick pass, and Jennings couldn't control it. And it's going to go harmlessly up, and it will be Australian ball.
It was the best look New Zealand have had. Very good pass by Nick Ross there. Just unable to control it.
So Australia will get the opportunity to build from the back again. This is Simmons in the centre of defence. Harvey on his left here. New Zealand not pressing too high, just happy for Australia to knock it around at the back at the moment. They play with good width there, the Australians. Kookaburras coming forward now. As they come. And there's the cross across the face of goal, and it's harmlessly out. So New Zealand will get the ball.
Yeah, New Zealand just sitting back in a half court. The danger of trying to press a team like Australia is they are just so good on the ball that you open up a lot of space in behind you. So if you don't win it high up the pitch, then it becomes a lot easier for them to generate opportunities at your defensive end. So New Zealand at the moment not prepared to allow them that space.
Well, that's off the stick of Sean Finlay, debutant for New Zealand in this match. Sam Hiha and Oliver McIntyre also getting their debuts today. So no score in the early stages of this match with Dawson.
Yeah, certainly a bit of a pressure cooker debut, this one, playing for Olympic spots and playing against Australia. You normally want to get a debut against a Korea or a Malaysia, maybe a Japan that's touring through New Zealand. Those are the sort of ones where it's a bit more comfortable playing against an Australian team that play with this sort of tempo and intensity. Certainly a very big, very tough introduction to international hockey.
Sharp wins the free hit, Lachlan Sharp.
I have to say that Sharp was, when I saw the national anthem before and thought this Australian side actually has very respectable haircuts for an Australian team, until it got to him. And then I thought, yep, there's always got to be at least one.
Here come Australia again. It's Ogilvie trying to come through the middle of the field, and now it's Sharp, that man you just talked about, right at the top of the circle. Good tackle coming in there from Shea McAleese, and New Zealand have it through Finlay, but the space shut really fast for the New Zealand debutant, and Australia back in possession. Whoops, it's been, McIntyre's been outmuscled by Brand there. Now Brand to the top of the circle. Player open here. This is Belts. There's the shot. It's into Hayward. And we've got a stalemate situation here. And a penalty corner has been awarded by David Tomlinson. First of the game.
Yeah, it was a fortunate moment on debut for Ollie McIntyre there. He gambled on intercepting that ball and did not get it right, and as a result things really opened up in the New Zealand defence. Would have been better to have just not taken the risk there and been able to shape the attack wide.
So we have Australia with the first penalty corner. Simmons and Blake Govers got a superb strike rate. He scored 85 goals in 98 games. There goes the shot, a save by Hayward. Good save by the New Zealand keeper. Here's another opportunity though. And New Zealand fortunate there that Australian player didn't get the ball on the stick. And there's an outlet pass, and Wilson is straight in space here. Two players ahead of him, but Australia have got back in excellent numbers. Dawson was one of them.
Yeah, really quick thinking by Nick Woods there. And as soon as that free hit was awarded to New Zealand, he was straight looking for an outlet pass, which he found.
Wilson has it. Playing his first game for New Zealand since the 2016 Olympics. Oh, here goes Hee-Ha into space. Hee-Ha, almost there for Dylan Thomas, who's usually so reliable there, flicking those in. It's still there for New Zealand, though. There's another cross, and it's just gone over the stick of George Muir.
Well, it's an encouraging little bit of action in the attacking circle for New Zealand there. Really good stuff by Sam Hee-Ha, and it was just probably tricky for Dylan Thomas there. It was coming through traffic, and he maybe got only a late look at it. It's a very poor overhead there.
Yeah, no timing on that at all as Finlay comes forward. Yes, this turf is exactly the same turf. It's going to be played at the Tokyo Olympics. This is good play from Ross. Oh, couldn't get the touch on it. George Muir once again. But excellent play from Nick Ross, who's been in good form. He was one of the best players in the South team in the North-South series recently. Good tackle from Woods. But no, it's gone against him. No, it's gone against Australia, actually. Yeah.
I think what we've got here is a good old-fashioned umpires blowing the free hit two different ways. So thus, they had to stop the game because they were both giving the opposite signal.
So no goals. Sorry, Lincoln, in these first 9 minutes. McAleese at the back. Dane Lett now under pressure. It looked like it came off McAleese's foot, but there was no call by the umpire. Edwards. Ingles, so good on the ball, but the Australians, of course, will be well aware of how slick he can be with his stick.
Yeah, not much gets Shea McAleese's heart rate up, but that would have. A little bit of a bad touch there, and found himself. It's the thing with this Australian side. When they smell blood, they will pounce.
Woods. Excellent with his long balls. He's found Hee-Ha with a nice pass. Hee-Ha trying to sneak through those Australian defenders. And it's going to go against Sam Hee-Ha. And it's taken quickly by the Australians as they come forward here. Jake Wetton on the ball here. Jake Wetton, he's played over 200 games for Australia. Double gold medalist for Australia at Commonwealth Games. And looking to get in the Olympic team for the second occasion. Yeah, they come again. This is Sharp in midfield for Australia. This is a good ball out to the man I just mentioned, Jake Wetton. There's Wetton. A strong ball, but it's straight into the foot there of Smith. Jacob Smith, the New Zealand Hockey Player of the Year. Announced at the awards recently.
Big achievement, Jake Smith. He's had a very good year. Coming from a man who was actually on the outside of the squad a few years ago, so he's done really well.
Good pass. Lovely one-touch hockey there from the Australian team. Excellent awareness from Hayward to stop that one, though.
Really well read. That was great goalkeeping by Leon Hayward. Just aware of the danger, confidence to come and smother.
And the Australians pressing high there too, Lincoln. Really putting the pressure on that New Zealand back line. Mixing up their defensive play as Woods fires it across to Letts, and it's been stolen by the Australians. New Zealand will have the ball.
It's actually Australian long corner here, I think.
Oh, it is Australian long corner, yes.
New Zealand touch on it, but yeah, that was a little bit of an infield speculator there, and it was pretty tough for Dane Lett trying to control it.
Belts played it back there for Hayward. Yeah, we got this strange situation in international sport. Two brothers playing in this game, but one's playing for Australia, one is playing for New Zealand. There is the pass from Sharp. That's outside the circle, so it's going to be New Zealand possession.
Yeah, what a great contest. And, of course, Jeremy Hayward being probably Australia's main drag flick exponent along with Blake Govers. So they'll certainly be facing off eye to eye. And Australia have a penalty corner.
Russell. That was a dangerous ball from Kane Russell, but it was well gathered in the end by Steve Edwards. Still no sign of Blair Tarrant. I wonder if we'll see him again. If you've just missed the start of the broadcast, cop one in the head and is going to be back on, we've been told, after getting some stitches. So this is pretty courageous stuff by the New Zealand captain. Nice interception there by Australia. And it's going to be Woods to pick up the loose ball, and it's all the way back to McAleese. So we will expect Blair Tarrant back on the pitch. at some point in this contest, which is good news for New Zealand. He's a tough nut, though, isn't he?
He is a tough nut, and I mean, he must have got lucky where that got him, because there's probably a lot of places on the head that a ball travelling at that speed could have made more of a mess.
Smith almost stole the ball there for New Zealand, and they're working hard. It's been lost by Steve Edwards, and Australia can come forward again through Trent Mitten, who's on the ball here. Now Witten. Running out to the left here is Tim Brand. Got a nice overhead pass, and he's controlled it nicely, Brand. Into the circle he comes. Oh, good stick from McAleese. Just halted the momentum. Sometimes that's all you need. It's still there, and it's gone out over the baseline, so it's going to be New Zealand ball.
Yeah, really good patient defence. I mean, a hell of a pass from Witten too. A beautiful crossfield overhead. You can see him just charging after Nick Ross down the sideline there. He's a man that seems to have boundless amounts of energy, Jake Witten.
Ross just lost his footing and has lost possession. Australia back in control of the ball for the meantime. Just over 90 seconds left in this first quarter here in the Sentinel Homes Trans-Tasman series. Game number 1 of 4. Don't forget the women will be in action straight after the conclusion of this match. Australia in the ball here with Witten. Just happy to cool it off for the meantime. Now Hayward.
Just really good ball speed from the Australians, moving from one side to the other. Here's Eddie Ockington.
Yeah, game number 367 today.
The thing about Eddie Ockington is he doesn't look like a guy who's played, I mean, his skill level looks like he's played 367 games, but he looks like he could be on debut.
There's the cross, and it's just been deflected by a New Zealander, so it still will be Australian ball with less than a minute to play in this first quarter. Ogilvie to take it. There's the one touch into the circle. Nice awareness from Woods. Hayward saves it again for New Zealand.
Yeah, good goalkeeping again, and good backup for his keeper there, Shea McAleese. Probably Leon Hayward didn't quite get the clearance on it he would have wanted, and luckily for the Black Sticks, McAleese was there to clear.
There's Lett clearing the ball with 27 seconds to play, and now there's a chance here for New Zealand. This is Jenis. He has ahead of him. Also running through is Ingles as well. Jenis with less than 20 seconds. Look at the Aussies are back there in numbers again, and it's been lost by Jenis. He'll be frustrated with that. Now the Australians look to counter here with 10 seconds. There goes the long speculator pass, but it looks like we will end up with a scoreless first quarter here in Palmerston North. End of the first quarter, 0-0. An entertaining match so far with no goals in it.
There's certainly a good tempo to this match. I mean, even that last 23 seconds, you look at the clock and you think there's no time left, and both sides had an opportunity. It's that super moon up over the hill, treated to a astrological extravaganza last night with the blood moon. Is there still a blood moon tonight? Probably. I don't think you have it 2 nights in a row. It is looking very yellow, though.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Well, almost a touch of orange.
Yeah.
But lots to digest for both teams here at the end of the first quarter. Yes, just must explain too how the Haywards have ended up playing for different teams. Both of them, of course, grew up in Darwin, but they have a Kiwi mum. And Leon Hayward, who's the goalkeeper for the Black Sticks, actually has played for Australia, but decided a few years ago now to represent New Zealand. So that's how it's all worked out.
There have to be a good insight. I mean, Leon Hayward would have faced a lot of these Australian flickers in training sessions, so it's got to be a little bit of an advantage for him playing against guys that he's seen so much of. And he's certainly, in the one penalty corner he's had so far, had it well covered.
Yes, indeed. As we have a look at the stats. So circle entries, Australia 13, almost 2-1 in favour of them. Just the one penalty corner in the game. And the Australians have looked good coming into the circle, haven't they? Creating opportunities, Lincoln.
Yeah, it's a real strength of their play. And you know that you would expect this with these two teams, that Australia would have, you know, double the entries. That probably isn't going to worry Darren Smith too much. It's more the times New Zealand do get down there, trying to generate some goal shots and some penalty corners. And they, even though there's not a shot registered on target, there have been a few that have sailed past past the far post. There have been a few that have looked like opportunities, or pretty good opportunities for the Black Sticks.
Here's Woods. Number 129 for him, Shea McAleese. Almost stolen superbly there by Mitten. And he's done really well there, Mitten, as he brings the ball into the circle here as Australia come forward. And it's just escaped the stick there of Govers, who was looking for yet another goal. And an Australian jumper.
He did very well there, Mitten. Just got the old periscope up and managed to hit the ball.
Brilliant work as Russell goes high. Ingles is the target. And he's not going to get it as Ockenden. Looks to try and grab another free hit off George Muir, being inside the 5 metres. But he was aware of it. Muir, Simmons and Dawson at the back. It's a quite strategic play from both teams. As the Australians in no hurry to pull the trigger just at the moment. Ockenden debuted all the way back in 2006. He's in his 15th year as a Kookaburra player, which is incredible, really. Now this is Josh Belts. Belts plays it into the circle, but it's nicely gathered there by McAleese. He's having a solid game at the back. Edwards couldn't link up there, though, with McAleese.
The Australians, they just don't look too phased at all when they've got the ball in their sticks.
Oh, nice little steal there by Jacob Smith. Now Muir.
As they turn it over under very little pressure.
So New Zealand can come forward here. This is Hugo Ingles, but he'll leave it to one of the defenders, Nick Woods. He's got excellent vision. There's Woods, and that's a nice pass off the back of the reverse side there by Edwards. New Zealand still fighting hard to keep the ball here, and they don't keep it for too long. These two teams have actually played 42 times in the last 10 years, Lincoln, and New Zealand have only won 2 of them back in 2011 in Hobart and Auckland 2016. That means they're averaging 1 win every 5 years, which means 2021 a win's coming in the series, perhaps.
Yeah, they're due.
Maybe more than one for Black Sticks fans. That is for sure.
Yeah, it's certainly a slightly different scoreboard on the women's side of things.
Very much so. Very even between the women's teams over the last 10 years. And, of course, New Zealand have beaten Australia in some big games, including the Commonwealth Games gold medal match, of course, in 2018. And New Zealand also beat them at the Olympics in Rio in the quarterfinals. Now, Mitten's gathered that one nice. That's a good pass. And this is Govers. Nice pass back to Belts. This is lovely hockey here from Australia. Into the circle they come. Oh, and it's gone across the face of goal again. Just the final touch eludes them again, Lincoln.
Yeah, it was good defending by Kane Russell. He was in good position, and rather than trying to trap it, he just decided to deflect it.
Woods has done a great job to
over
get the ball
sideline.
there. Yeah.
But yeah, they do look good going forward, don't they, Australia? They just, every pass finding its mark.
New Zealand coming forward, that's Smith. Lovely timed pass. And it's Wilson who wins the free hit. New Zealand still have possession and they take it quickly. No, in fact, they haven't taken it quickly. So, chance for them to push maybe 2 or 3 into the circle. Thomas is in there. Ingles on the ball. Back to Dane Lett, and now it's McAleese. McAleese goes aerial, and the target of that pass is Russell. But it's going to be New Zealand ball. Near the circle's edge. Thomas crashes it in the stick by Ockenden. The reflection has seen New Zealand still keep the ball, the Black Sticks. This is Nick Woods once more.
Little patch here for New Zealand. Bit of possession where you want to have it. Up around and over halfway.
You feel the tension out on the pitch at the moment, Lincoln, can't you? Whoops, McAleese not controlling the ball particularly well on that occasion. Forced into a bit of trouble. Great control over there by Lett. Oh, he's done brilliantly there, Dane Lett. That's excellent work.
It's gone through the legs. It's one of the first, it's one of the only elimination manoeuvres a lot of hockey players have. But Dane Lett executed that very well.
Russell. And now it's Thomas. Thomas is very long. Well, those long arms. Here's Russell in the circle. Couldn't get a swipe at it. And Australia defend it, and Beale comes away now. Another half a chance there for the Black Sticks. Great steal and great tackle from Kane Russell, but no. Simon Taylor says it's a free hit to Australia.
Yeah, good baseline skill from Dylan Thomas there. Just a little bit of 3D skill, just flipping the ball up off the turf over the defender's stick and almost finding Kane Russell with a 90-degree pass.
Martin over there with the ball for Australia. Now Simmons rather. Now Australia again, quite deliberate at the back, just happy to knock it around, and then once they pull the trigger, look out.
Belts are one of the many Tasmanians. Been a good product for Australian hockey.
In fact, there's a really good spread of players from all over the country in both the men's and women's teams, actually. Australia get the free hit. This is Harvey. Jake Harvey, who's from Western Australia. And now here comes Wetton once more. Brisbane. Coming up to the halfway mark of the second quarter. Still no score in this contest, the first of the Sentinel Homes Trans-Tasman matches for 2021. Hope you're enjoying them. There's Lachlan Sharp, chases that one right down to the corner for the Kookaburras. Trying to put a number there on number 2 for New Zealand, Oliver McIntyre, on debut. Woods has it. Now McIntyre. Thomas. Australia kept their space quite nicely there, and that was good work as they come forward once again. Belts has lost the ball, and it's Hee-Ha with that electric pace that he has, but he's on his lonesome. Jenis, what a great pass to Jenis to the circle's edge. Jenis flicks it across, looking for a penalty corner, not going to get one. And Australia come away with the ball, and that's a lovely little pass. Their short passing game is top quality as always. Now they settle it down through Simmons once again.
Yeah, it was nice play by Sam here. He's given a really good account of himself for his first match for his country so far. He's looked lively. Certainly doesn't look like he's shy of confidence.
Here come Australia again. Wetton over there looking to get the ball back. There he is now, Jake Wetton. There's the cross into the circle, but it's gone out. And he'd be disappointed he didn't execute that cross a little bit better than that one.
He's just everywhere, Jake Wetton. He's like a sheepdog. It's had a massive dose of caffeine. He's just all over the place.
Right. Black Sticks just looking to cool it off a little bit there with Nick Ross. And McAleese and Nick Woods. Sean Finlay back out there at the moment. Here they come again. New Zealand, great tackle coming in there from Dylan Martin. And Martin got it for Australia. Harvey. Good stick work from him. Beale coming forward. Daniel Beale. Woods has him in his sights. Oh, great turn there from Beale as he brings the ball into the circle, but he maybe just took it one too far, and Finlay got a vital stick there. Sean Finlay.
It was very silky from Daniel Beale, wasn't it? He beautiful control of the ball down the field.
Well, it's been turned over, and Australia have got it again at the circle's top. Oh, good stick there from Dylan Thomas. He's got very good skills for a tall man.
Yeah, I think we made the point in some of those domestic games that, yeah, for a guy with long limbs, he's remarkably agile. Usually those two things do not go together.
Lett. Supporting Lett there is Nick Ross. New Zealand under pressure here to clear the ball effectively as McAleese brings it across to Woods. Smith comes back. Didn't time that overhead at all, and it's been picked up there by Tom Wickham, who had a birthday yesterday. He's hit the big 3-0. Happy birthday for yesterday, Tom. Now Ogilvie once more. Martin. Australia have 3 in the circle at the moment. New Zealand have plenty of players back in their own quarter, though, and Australia forced to retreat. through Dawson.
I almost share a birthday with Tom Wickham. It's my birthday tomorrow.
I didn't want to say
Just to give myself a shout out.
Yeah, come Australia.
Only problem is I'm not 30.
No, you're 28, aren't you? There goes a nice little steal from Woods and Wilson. Quite a story, Nick Wilson. He'll be really relishing the chance to play in front of his home crowd, as will Kayla Whitelock, of course, when the women's game comes around straight after the conclusion of this match. Now Australia, this is danger signs here for New Zealand. There's space here on the right this time for the Kookaburras. 3 right in front of the goal.
It's good by Nick Ross, just getting outside the circle, making sure there was no easy penalty corner.
Hee-ha, that's a good pass. And now number 24, Sean Finlay, comes forward. Just delaying the pass is Finlay. And he pulls it back to Nick Woods. Wilson. Hee-ha. This is Martin, Thomas, Jacob Smith rather, as Wilson has it again. He has lost it. Australia have got it. Nice little play there from Dawson. And Australia's in space here again, but only one player high up at the moment. That's Brand.
New Zealand just happy to fall back and allow Australia to have the ball. Game just slows up for a little moment here.
3 minutes left in this first half. Hayward.
Dawson and Hayward look very secure on the ball back there.
Nice work here from Tom Wickham once more. It's Colin Batch coaching this Australian team, a former Black Sticks coach. Coached the Black Sticks at the last Olympics. So he'll be well aware of many of the New Zealand players as well, having coached them for many years. Hayward goes high this time. A pull pass that time from Hayward. Turns over possession.
It was a rare moment of Australia not connecting with a striker there. Managed to do that pretty successfully for most of this first half.
Woods cools it off. Australia pressing high, 4 players pressing high. There's Russell. Tries to find Smith. Can't find him.
Very strong wrist, Kane Russell. He just seems to be able to get a lot of power without having to throw much of his body into it. Looked like it gave the ball gave Trent Mitten a well-needed shave there too, just nearly taking his face off.
Yes, indeed. Here's Dawson once again. Now Australia decide to try and cook something up, and that's beautiful control over there. Here's the ball into the circle. There's a shot from the edge, but it's not on target from Blake Govers.
Yeah, head to the clouds there, to the cloudless sky. He knows he should have done a bit better with that, Blake Govers. Did not get a good connection on it. Was unable to test Leon Hayward.
Woods. That's a lovely pass out to Russell, who comes forward. Loves to penetrate into the circle. Does Russell? Great tackle, though. How about that tackle? And Australia can counter here. Oh, just slipped over the stick there of Tim Brand. So perhaps the moment has escaped Australia. In fact, it definitely has, because it's a free hit to New Zealand near halfway inside the last minute of this first half.
It's a nice little moment there for the Kiwis. That was a fantastic pass. Just before Kane Russell was very well tackled.
Woods. So can New Zealand create one more opportunity before half-time? Not able to control that one is Nick Ross. So Australia going to get the ball here with 30 seconds. Harvey to get things going again. Can Australia cook up something special here through Simmons? All they might do is that defender's left for dead, and Australia coming forward here. Tackle needed to be made. It was a beauty, wasn't it, from Ingles? 5 seconds left.
Beautiful touch from Eddie Ockington to lift it over the stick when he received the ball. As we see Ingles trying to find a searching pass at the final moment.
And he can't do so. So it's been a scoreless first half here in Palmerston North in the opening Sentinel Homes Trans-Tasman match for 2021. It is New Zealand 0, Australia 0.
A new home is one of life's great adventures. Sentinel will help you enjoy the journey. Sentinel Homes. Design, build, enjoy.
Introducing the new Ford Escape ST Line X. Packed with the latest features so you can get moving, do more and go further. Now available with Ford Assured Future Value Finance. No deposit needed, and at the end of your payment term, choose from a range of options, including upgrading to a new Ford. Search Ford Escape now. Ford, bring on tomorrow.
Holding me back.
History has not been kind to our men on cricket's biggest stages.
He's got it! England have won the World Cup!
Now, Sky Sport proudly presents the biggest stage of all, the inaugural ICC World Test Championship Final.
India, incredible!
Don't miss the Black Caps versus India.
This is the ultimate test.
Live June 18, only on Sky Sport.
Yes, it's half-time here at Palmerston North in Game 1 of the Sentinel Homes Trans-Tasman Hockey Series. And it is 0-0 between Australia and New Zealand. Australia's passing game, the connections have looked very good, perhaps just not quite finishing, getting that finishing touch in front of the New Zealand goal. There has been some excellent goalkeeping, though, by Leon Hayward to keep out a couple of the chances, particularly in the first quarter. And New Zealand certainly have had their chances too in the match too, particularly in that second quarter with a couple of opportunities, as you can see the Australian coach Colin Batch there barking out his instructions to his team. Was a fine player himself in his day. Colin Batch played over 150 games for the Kookaburras himself. His hockey is in his blood. There is absolutely no question about that. Yes, these two teams have met 42 times in the last 10 years. New Zealand have won 2. Australia have won 35. And there have been 5 draws amongst the results over the last 10 years. So certainly favouring the Kookaburras' history as we look at the stats and look at those circle entries. 21-10, more to 2-1 in favour of them. And shots on goal has been good as well for Australia. So just that last touch, just eluding the Kookaburras in this first half of this first match. Just the one penalty corner in the game so far, with Australia earning that in the first quarter. A chance to remind you that we'll be here tomorrow for game number 2, and then we'll be back on Sunday for game 3, and then game 4 of the series will be on Tuesday. There will be no penalty shootouts in these games if games are drawn at the end of full time. That's an agreement that both teams have entered into. And another reminder too, at 7:30 tonight, we will have the next match coming up for you between the Vantage Black Sticks and the Australian Kookaburras. This is going to be a ripper. We've got a rematch coming of the 2018 Commonwealth Games gold medal match coming in that match coming this evening. So really looking forward to seeing two women's matches going at it today. Here's have a look at some of the highlights in the first half. And unfortunately, that's when Blair Tarrant clocked one in the head. Right at the start of the game, the New Zealand captain out of the game, but we've understood he's got stitches in that wound in his head and will return at some stage. Perhaps we'll see him after half-time back in action. Let's have a look at some of the other action here. Good stop here from Hayward as we saw the penalty corner created. Here are some of the other highlights. One of the best opportunities there to New Zealand with Dylan Thomas just going over the stick there of the New Zealand attackers. We go down to Lincoln Churchill now. He has the New Zealand coach with him, Darren Smith.
Well, Darren, good to be playing some international hockey.
Yeah, fantastic. Beautiful evening in Palmerston North, and great to have Australia here and back into it after a long time.
Yeah, and you'd be reasonably pleased with how your side started tonight. A bit nervy, but reasonably solid.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the start of the game we were a bit nervous, there's no doubting it. And there was a couple of little missed traps, and we weren't finding our shape as well as we would have liked. But I thought we played ourselves reasonably well through the game, and you know, we're able to, for the most part, withstand the Australians and start getting a bit of attack ourselves. So hope for a good second half.
Yeah, all the best for the second half. Hopefully see some magic out there.
All right, Darren Smith there. The New Zealand coach, always pretty clear in what he needs to do, and we've got the opportunity to chat now to the former Black Sticks coach and the current Australian coach now, Colin Batch. He's with Lincoln.
Well, Batchy, welcome back to New Zealand. Good to be here.
Yeah, great. We're very pleased to be here.
Yeah, so you're finding your feet a little bit in that first part of that game, but you're reasonably happy with how your boys have started?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of possession. You know, New Zealand are breaking us down pretty comfortably, I have to say. We haven't had too many goal shots, only the one corner, so we've got enough possession, but we need to do more with it.
Yeah, well, all the best for the second half.
Thank you.
Yes, of course, Colin Batch, New Zealand coach between 2012 and 2016. So really experienced coach. He's a former Belgium coach as well, looking to go to his third Olympics with his team. Of course, he'll be going to his third Olympics with his third different team. Belgium in 2012, New Zealand in 2016, and now his home country, Australia, in 2020. All right, both teams getting set for the third quarter. Just before we get the quarter started, it's a pleasure to be welcomed actually by one of the Australian players who's not playing in this game, but I'm sure will feature in the series at some stage, Tom Craig. G'day, Tom.
G'day, how are we going?
Good, mate. Nice and chilly for you here.
Not too bad. Good view from up here, actually.
Exactly. Now, you better tell us this story. I understand you got Kiwi parents.
I do.
And there was a little bit of a mess-up just before your Australian debut, right? Tell us the story.
That was the problem. I was debuting for Australia, not New Zealand, so my New Zealand passport didn't fly. Apparently, a passport is the only documentation they accept to prove citizenship, so I was knocked back and got an Australian passport.
But you were born in Australia, right?
I was born in Australia,
Yeah, so that's a funny story. All right, what have you made of the first half, Tom?
I reckon the boys from both teams would just be loving being out there. It looks so fun. So fun. I think... Australia would be pretty happy, I think. Like a few opportunities. Leon Hayward's playing really well on the net. Lots of balls going past the far post. I'm sure there would have been a note about putting those in the goal. And some good counter-attacking opportunities from New Zealand. So I think it's a good first start for both teams after not playing hockey for a fair while.
Mate, look, you haven't played since March, international hockey since March last year. How tough has that been for the team and you in particular, not having the opportunity to play international hockey?
Yeah, it's tricky. We train hard, but sometimes there was the uncertainty about whether it was going to go ahead, when was our next competition. We hypothetically couldn't have played a single game until we got to Tokyo, so these are a bonus. But it was tricky. There were some dark moments there. We were out flogging ourselves 5 o'clock in the morning just to for a goal that hadn't materialised yet. So it's good that we're out here and we got something to train for. This series has been great.
Yeah, I guess at some stage, Tom, you just mentioned 5 o'clock in the morning, you're thinking, well, what am I actually doing this for?
Sometimes.
There's nothing on the horizon, right? Yeah?
At times.
All right, let's have a look at the start of the third quarter now. It's going to be Australia, who've certainly created the more opportunities in the contest. 21 circle entries in the game, 10 to New Zealand. And straight away, here comes Sharp. And now Australia at the top of the circle through Beale. New Zealand have defended quite well. Tom, what have you made of this? The Australians maybe just lacking that finishing polish,
I think a little bit. I reckon we've held the ball pretty well. We've tested New Zealand, but we know that New Zealand are likely to bend, not break. So we didn't anticipate it to be too high scoring, and it's proving to be just that.
Indeed, as we see Dane Lett get a timely stick there, just to knock the ball out of Trent Mitten's possession. Australia will still keep the pressure on here through Harvey. New Zealand not pressing too high around the halfway line, just choosing to let the Australians hold the ball. Asking them to make that decisive pass forward to see if they can create something as Simmons looks to do just that right now. Great overhead pass. Nice control there by Belts. But New Zealand just choosing to defend the space at the moment. And that's going to be New Zealand possession. You got over at the weekend, Tom, and you've been pleased to get out of Australia with what's happened in Melbourne now.
Yeah, it was good. It was good timing. A long way from Perth as it transpires, past the north, but it's good to be here.
It certainly is. And just getting some matches. And of course, you've got some games against New Zealand coming up in Perth too, haven't you? With, I think, those matches counting as Pro League games too.
I think so. So that's pretty good. 6 games, from no games to 6 games before we head to Tokyo. So it's pretty ideal.
What a great tackle there on Hugo Ingles. We know how tricky he is in those situations, Tom. That was a really good tackle.
Very good tackle. Jack Wetton, known for it.
Yeah, Wetton's been an excellent touch in this game so far. And tell me about the anticipation as, you know, you woke up this morning knowing that international hockey was back. Hey? Tell me about that, Tom.
The boys are buzzing. Absolutely buzzing. It was quite strange being into...
Hayward gets rid of it. In fact, there's been a change in keeper. That's George Anderson now in goal for New Zealand.
Yeah, the pre-match meeting was... there was pretty palpable excitement. The lads are... Oh, it's awesome. Yeah. This is what we do.
Indeed, and you'll be back into the swing of it in no time with 3 more games coming over the next 4 days. Now Russell looks to pick that one up for New Zealand. He's done well there. Pass from Smith, not quite hard enough out there to Wilson. So Australia back in possession. There's Trent Mitten, sets it up. Well, good on you, Tom. Thanks for popping up.
Thanks for having me.
I'm sure we're going to see you in the later matches. And thanks for popping up. Good luck for the rest of the game.
Cheers, thanks.
There we are, Tom Craig there. One of the Australian players, squad members not playing today. And of course hoping to get his opportunity later on in the series to push for Olympic selection. Lincoln Churchill back with us now. Still no score in the game as we have played 4 minutes in the second half. As Edwards steals it off there to Dane Lett and now Nick Woods.
Yep, taking over from co-commentator Tom Craig, who was a far better hockey player than I ever was.
We'll see him in action. Of course, other players sitting out today for Australia. Tim Howard, Zalewski as well. He's got a bit of an injury. Don't think we might see him until later on in the series. Of course, New Zealand players sitting out today. David Bryden, Sam Lane, Jared Punchier and Dominic Newman. So I'm sure we'll see them tomorrow's New Zealand. Coach Darren Smith will give them an opportunity in game number 2 tomorrow.
Yeah, there's so much experience in this Australian side. I mean, when you name the Australian players missing out, you've got over 500 caps between them.
Yeah, Jacob Anderson's another one. He's one of the newer players, but he sure will see in action. It's Australia pick up a free hit with that ball hitting Nick Ross's foot. Now here's a chance for them at the circle's edge. Good little stick there from Nick Woods. Just deflected it out of the Australians' grasp.
I mean, Colin Batch mentioned it at half-time that New Zealand have dealt with Australia breaking them down pretty well.
Here's Brand into the circle, looking for a penalty corner in the very least. New Zealand don't concede one, Lincoln.
Yeah, they have maintained their poise at the back, New Zealand. They've been very patient, defended the circle very well. Haven't given Australia really many, if any, very clean opportunities.
How cool and calm was that from Woods? Very good play from him. Russell, right back at the moment. Still no sign of Blair Tarrant. See if he does make his return. We've been told he will at some point. Remember, he got that ball to the head right at the start of the game. Hee-ha. Plays it forward here to Ingles. Ingles looking for Muir in the circle. Couldn't quite get around that Australian player. And away come the Kookaburras again through Wetton. Good tackle from Finlay. Now there's a chance here for New Zealand. But 4 players quickly back there for Australia. And they had that one under control, the Kookaburras.
Good bit of reverse pressing from the Black Sticks. Doing an Australian on Wetton.
Wickham gets tangled up there with Woods. Woods concedes the free hit just on the circle's edge. Wetton. Now Beale into the circle. New Zealand have to defend well here, and Woods has just done that, and it's a free hit to New Zealand. Good work from Nick Woods. Been a rock in this game so far. Woods hasn't put a foot wrong. Ross. And Russell, the 2 players from Otago. Woods.
Yeah, very good southern contingent.
Yeah, well, hopefully Tarrant will come back into the action soon.
There's 4 of them when they're all out there.
Ingles the other. And they're all good, solid players as well. Thomas is not going to get that one. There's Australia. Get the ball back again. And it's Ockenden. And now Hayward playing it forward. Ockenden here again. And now the pass down to Govers. There's the cross. Almost flicked in. Good stop there by Anderson. Still there for Australia. Penalty corner's been awarded. Wow, dangerous ball played in. Anderson quick as a flash, saving that one, but not enough to concede the penalty corner.
Yeah, Shane Ackley's just asking the question as to whether it should have been awarded. But yeah, that's a great touch. We didn't get to see the what the penalty corner is awarded for.
No.
It's Australia, their second chance off the penalty corner. So this time, George Jennison in goal. And it's Hayward and Govers, the 2 key strike men for Australia.
Let's see if New Zealand can defend this one. And it's going over to Govers. And it is saved by Innocent. Still there for Australia. And it's been deflected away. Some good defending. Australia still have a long corner.
It was Hayward, in fact, I think, that flipped that, and well covered by Innocent. Equal to the challenge.
Still no penalty corners in the game for New Zealand. There's the Aussies coming to the circle again. Here's a shot on target. No stick there. Still there for the Australians as Finlay tries to clear it. Still there, and now Woods will get rid of it. But it's still there for Hayward. Some serious pressure coming on the New Zealand defence right now. There's the goal. It's been deflected in. And lovely finishing from Australia. They take the lead right on the stroke of 3/4 time.
There's it, Tim Brand.
Tim Brand it is who scored the goal.
He's got the touch. He was in the right spot, and it was a fantastic pass on the top of the circle. We'll see it on the replay here. Really, Daniel Beale. Just a beautiful little bit of a no-look reverse stick push pass, and Innocent really couldn't do much about that.
So close to stopping it. Innocent, but
you can see a good shot of that now. Look at that on the. That's a good piece of skill, using the reverse stick to thread that one into the circle. Just caught New Zealand napping.
So Brand with the goal for Australia, and that is his 17th goal in his 41st game.
That's what you want your strikers doing, just being in the right spots and ready. And the ball can come in at any moment, get the finishing touch.
Well, timely goal. Australia have been threatening more than New Zealand in this contest. Take the lead.
Yeah, it would be a deserved lead on the balance of the game, but certainly the balance of this quarter. New Zealand have not seen much of the ball.
Certainly haven't.
Their attacking end.
Ockenden, good scramble from him. Keeps the ball there for Belts. Harvey. Pulls it back to Dawson. Doesn't use Josh Simmons as defensive buddy. Gives it to Josh Belts.
You see the Australian side, how much they're just comfortable pushing the ball. Very good ball speed on their push passes. Something clearly that Colin Batch has demanded of them. As much as they can push the ball around the back.
Here come Australia once again. Crash ball in! No touch that time. They mix it up pretty well, don't they, Lincoln?
That was a good threatening pass. Unable to get on the end of it that time.
But it keeps the opposition guessing, doesn't it?
Yeah, they do just keep coming at you, the Australians, and the challenge for the Black Sticks is, can they keep things tight at the back as the game wears on?
Here's a nice run from Russell. Smith. It's got support there by Willett.
Just not the first touch that Jacob Smith would have wanted there. Just bounced off his stick a little bit and slowed the attack down.
McIntyre.
It allows Australia to get their numbers back and recover. So unfortunately that nice little breach from Kane Russell doesn't really come to much.
Thomas. Front running ball for him perhaps. Ingles. But look, 3 Australians surround Hugo Ingles. Wins the free hit and he takes it quickly. Pushes it out to Thomas. Good control from Dylan Thomas. Keeps possession for New Zealand, but not for too long.
It's just where New Zealand needs some more quality, those opportunities. I mean, they're always going to be a little bit starved of opportunities against Australia, but when they do get up there, they just need a bit more quality. Make sure they get something from it.
Eddie Ockenden, the captain of the Kookaburras. There's a touch as Ogilvie can't keep the ball. And now New Zealand can counter here through Dylan Thomas. Nice pass. Into the circle. Comes Jenis. And it's come off an Australian stick, so it won't be a penalty corner. New Zealand look to keep the pressure on here. McIntyre.
Certainly a lot of instructions being barked out there.
Yeah, it's mainly coming from Jeremy Hayward at the moment.
Yeah, they're just, Australia feeling like they're just not organising themselves as well as they could be. Up their communication, get themselves back into good shape.
Woods. Don't forget, folks, at 7:30 this evening we have the women's match coming between the Black Sticks and the Hockeyroos. So, great first night of 4 in the Sentinel Homes Trans-Tasman series for 2021. Jenis looks to turn his opponent there. Has a chance to cross it here. Here's a chance into the circle. Smith just eludes him. And Australia can clear here. Lovely skill coming forward here from Belts. And it's in Gover's stick now. Ingles can't get the ball. This is good play from Australia as they counter. Sharp can't control it, and it's come off his foot.
He should have done better with that, Lachlan Sharp. It was a pretty good opportunity on the edge of the circle and just miscontrolled it. His own worst enemy on that one.
Edwards can call it down for the Black Sticks. Now Nick Woods. Just one player behind him, and Shea McAleese, and the keeper, of course, George Anderson. Not much movement going ahead there of McAleese, though. Now the Aussies look to press Woods, and they pick up the loose ball in the midfield here. It's come off the foot there, though, of Edwards, so it will be Australian ball. Ogilvie, nice pass, quick transition onto attack here from Martin, and now Harvey. Australia, good decisive play into the circle. Anderson stops it. Good save by the New Zealand keeper.
Yeah, it was a fantastic receive from Jake Harvey. Just broken field with the ball and really caught the New Zealand defence out. It was just all in the receive.
Simon Taylor picked up an infringement. I think that might have been back of the stick there. But Harvey here.
You'll see this receive here, just bounces straight infield and
it was a lovely decisive play. And now Australia again back in possession through Martin. As we see just a minute to go in this quarter. Australia leading 1-0. Goal coming in this quarter to Tim Brand from Sydney. And now Australia through Mitten comes forward. A pass though straight into the stick there of Nick Woods, the New Zealand defender, and he wins the free hit. Good play from Woods once more.
He never looks like he's in too much trouble, Nick Woods.
No, he doesn't. Janice.
Great pass here too.
Martin just swats it down like a fly swat. There's a lovely pass to Witten right on his stick. Wonderful pass. Witten can run. Round Edwards he goes. Sharp and Woods get their sticks. In fact, it was Dane Lett. Get their sticks tangled up with 20 seconds to go in this third quarter.
Yeah, it's been a strong quarter from Australia. They've turned the screw a little bit. New Zealand have shown a little bit more promise in the latter part of it, which they'll be hoping to build on as they go into the fourth one.
Russell wins a free hit. Now, Finlay. Time has elapsed in the third quarter, so just that goal to Tim Brand in the third quarter with 15 minutes to play. New Zealand got to find a way back to beat this Australian team who look confident here in Palmerston North. It's Australia leading at three-quarter time, 1-0.
Yeah, good quarter from the Australians, so it'll be interesting to see what instructions come out from the coaches here. Certainly it did start to have that look of as the game wore on, that New Zealand were getting a little more stretched and Australia starting to generate some better opportunities. So the question of New Zealand can try to tighten up the stop the leaks, while at the same time just trying to commit a few more numbers forward to see if they can snatch a goal back. As we see the replay of that goal, and it was just a fantastic ball in by Daniel Beale. You can see it here. Just, I mean, it was either amazing awareness or a very good guess that.
Or Beale had eyes in the back of his head, Lincoln.
Yeah, it could be like that. But just probably a really good understanding of where his teammates were going to be.
And I think that's probably one of the differences between the two teams, the connections that Australia seem to have jumped onto here in this first match. Just got that little bit more sharpness and crispness. 29 circle entry, so again, 2-1 favouring them. Second penalty corner, no chance of a penalty, or no sign of a penalty corner for New Zealand so far.
That's the key stat. It's not so much that Australia have got so many more entries, that probably is par for course with the difference between these two sides, but it's just the fact that from the 14 New Zealand have had, there's no shots on goal or penalty corners, and that's what's telling. They need to be able to get more from those circle breaches.
Australia get the last quarter underway here. Straight away covers. Ockenden nicely kept in field here by Witten, but Finlay. Ogilvy's, a little unlucky there. Just a slight delay to the whistle there from Simon Taylor.
Yeah, Simon Taylor just momentarily forgetting which way the teams were playing and awarding a free hit to Australia.
Thomas loses the
changing
ball.
The decision, that's why it took some time.
Here comes Govers.
Can be confusing for umpires when teams swap ways at half-time. It's just that little moment where they're not quite sure.
Right in the corner, New Zealand trying to bring it out, but it's been pinched there by Australia. Now, there's a chance for Witten. Into the circle. Good tackle from Russell there on Daniel Martin, or Martin. Martin looks to get the ball back, and he's done pretty well there. Finlay sneaks it over, and now Wilson just settles it down here for Thomas. Kane Russell. Let. McAleese tries to find Dylan Thomas. Brings that to deck nicely. Good pass to the corner. This is looking better for New Zealand. Australia still keep it in the field of play, and it's out off a New Zealand stick.
It's just a little bit toothless in the end. They get the ball into that area, and then it's sort of just a bit hopeful, trying to just throw it at the circle in the event that something might happen. You just want to see a little bit more bravery, a bit more skill, have a bit more of a crack from that zone rather than just a bit of a hit and hope, which is what it's looked a little bit like for the Kiwis when they've got down there.
Dawson. Australia, remember, Tim Brand scoring the goal in the third quarter, lead 1-0, and Wetton comes forward once again. Now Australia coming again through Ockenden. Ockenden looking for that timely stick, but again it's Woods, and it's come off Nick Woods' leg, and it's going to be, or maybe the back of the stick there, and it's going to be Australian possession inside the quarter.
I think it was actually the hand of Woods, which technically isn't an infringement if it's the hand is on the stick. That's what he was signalling to Simon Taylor, but often hard to tell. They both sound both make a soft noise when they're next to each other.
New Zealand got the ball. Hope you're enjoying our coverage of the Sentinel Homes Trans-Tasman series. Great to have them as naming rights partner for this series as well. New Zealand still have the ball. The Vantage Black Sticks. New Zealand just calming it down. Kane Russell, solid game from him, playing in that right defensive position. Vacated by Blair Tarrant after that injury in the opening couple of minutes. Woods. Ingles losing the ball, but pressured, and that's gone against the Aussies, so won't be happy with that call.
He might have been a little bit lucky there, Ingles. Maybe there was a little bit of contact, but it looked more like he slipped than anything else. Certainly drew a cry from the Australian bench.
Here's Wilson. Clean steal there. Taken away by number 22, Flynn Ogilvie, who's very fast on the ball. Woods gives up the free hit. Probably not a bad place to give up a free hit there. Or was it Dylan Thomas? Nonetheless, it's still going to be Australian ball with just under 11 to play.
It's been a reasonably good, clean game. I don't think we've seen a card, have we, from either side? Which it's not that common for international men's hockey. We normally see at least a few greens being thrown around.
Here's Ockenden. Well, there is still 10 minutes to play, Lincoln. Maybe you just put the curse on them as Wetton comes forward.
One coming right now.
Here's Sharp.
Someone will come in wielding an axe.
And that'll be that. Ogilvie plays it into the circle, but it's been taken. Clean interception there. Nice play by that New Zealand player as Thomas loses the ball in a dangerous position. Into the circle comes Australia. Couldn't get a shot, but it's still there. Anderson could be called on here. Still there for the Australians, and it's deflected away for a long corner. New Zealand a bit lucky.
Yeah, great block by Shea McAleese. Yeah, Dylan Thomas coming out of defence. He actually had the opportunity to open up on that receive, and he sort of went that way and then went back. But in doing so, went into the tackle. In a very dangerous place to lose the ball.
Well, Australia lurking once more. Simmons. And this is Ockenden. He's playing a bit higher up the field now, Ockenden, as he goes towards the baseline, but shadowed all the way. Muir now looking to put pressure on the Australian captain.
Did well there, George Muir.
Did really well. He won the ball. It was good work from McIntyre as well. But the Australians
see
still
that
have
turnover here earlier, so you see how Thomas could have actually let that ball go as it came through, but tried to turn back.
Sharp got the shot on target, but Anderson, who was right at his breadbasket, comfortable stop there for George Anderson that time as Finlay looks to free up Ingles. Standing New Zealand captain, he's pushed it too far for Muir. Just a little bit too much heat on that one.
Yeah, those are the sort of chances that New Zealand just need to make more of. A good little break and then just not quite executing the final, or the pass in the final third. So ball in the corner, so New Zealand applying a pocket press, but not that successfully. As Australia come out of that with relative ease.
There's a good pass going down field once again. And it was Minton that time who couldn't link up with a teammate, Trent Minton.
Yeah, just a heavy touch on his dribble there. And,
Woods. McAleese.
well, 8 minutes for New Zealand to try and muster a reply to that third quarter Australian goal.
They've really struggled to create much in the second half, Lincoln. The Black Sticks.
Yeah, their best quarter of opportunities was the first.
Woods finds Thomas eventually. Play on is the call by the umpire David Tomlinson. Now Sharp, nice pass. Out it comes to Govers. This is Sharp once more. Harvey looming on his right here. Australia sweeping forward once again, and they crowd that goal mouth once more as Harvey brings it into the circle. And Harvey's creating something, but in the end, he basically tackled himself.
Yeah, he just couldn't find any support, could he? And again, New Zealand did well. They were patient.
Free hit is won by New Zealand right on the halfway. Ingles, Edwards, there with him. Ingles, that's a beautiful turn. And there goes Ingles again. Oh, and that's come off the leg, so it's going to be New Zealand ball. Here's Finlay. On the circle's edge, Sean Finlay! It's gone in! Sean Finlay scores on debut. And we're locked up at one apiece.
Well, he has absolutely banked that, the young Taradale High School protege. Very well taken goal, and good thinking by Hugo Ingles here. You can just see very quickly getting the game going again. Finds them out. Australia just caught napping, just didn't have anyone on him. That's very unusual. A very, very good finish. It's a very hard height for a goalkeeper, that, just slightly off the turf. Gee, nothing like scoring a goal against Australia on debut, is there? Something I'm always trying to encourage my players to do is take the shot when you cross the circle line, which is what Sean Finlay did then. Often they want to take it a lot closer, and then it usually then means the opportunity's gone.
Well, Sean Finlay,
nice and quickly.
big moment in his career. He's only 19 years old, and now he scored in his very first international. And the Australians were punished there for a bit of kind of statue kind of play.
They just didn't have, they just were not organised. Very unlike them there. They just didn't have anyone ready to step up to him, and by the time they finally got someone to go, it was far too late.
Smith losing the ball, but Hee-Ha is not going to get the ball because it's Australian possession.
It's added a bit of interest to the end of this match.
Sure is. Just under 6 to play. Both teams going to push for a win. We must remind you there's no penalty shootouts if it's a draw in this series.
Yeah, it's New Zealand's first shot on goal, and they've made their first and only shot on goal count.
Hayward now for Australia. Great pass. Here come the Australians into the circle again, and that one flies harmlessly wide. Off the stick there of Jake Wetton.
He just found himself in quite a nice little pocket of space there, Jake Wetton, for how central he was on the field.
McAleese. Now Woods. Oh, that pass. Not quite accurate to Dane Led, who's frustrated he didn't get that one on stick. And now Minton takes it quickly. Looks for Beale. Woods concedes the free hit.
It's, just looking at the possession stats here, Australia at 82.5%. So it's a pretty...
Well, in the second half of the game. In the game. That's incredible, isn't it? Wow. Here's Sharp doing some good work. Gives space here for Witten once again. Down the centre they come, the Kookaburras, and Lett's been pushed off the ball by Mitten.
Yeah, did well there. Dane Lett just protected the ball, got his body in the way, forced the foul.
Well, Shea McAleese. Can New Zealand scramble a winner? It would be incredible.
Nearly the second time in the game where Trent Mitten got the ball off Shea McAleese with a periscope.
Woods isn't going to keep the ball there for New Zealand, so Australia transitioned really well in this game. And Harvey, look at the space here for Harvey. He crashes it in. Touch there, still there, Innocent. No, it's a goal. And Mitten has reclaimed the lead for the Australians. Innocent did well to stop those two, but just couldn't get the third one.
Just couldn't clear the lines, and it's Jake Harvey, has been just finding quite a bit of space up on that right-hand side in the last little bit of this game, and you see him here again, just picking the ball up with no one anywhere near him, able to thread this in, and it just probably, if anything, the mistake there was that George Innocent actually stopped the ball in the first place, because I don't think there was any Australian touch on that in the circle, unless I'm mistaken. I think probably he should have just let this go, because am I right? I don't think there was any touch on that. Maybe it's hard to tell, so if in doubt, keep it out. But unfortunately, that rebound then went into the path of Trent Mitten, who made no mistake.
Yeah, Mitten scored his 80th goal for the Kookaburras in game 174. Of course, he comes from a rich hockey family, doesn't he? Grandfather and his father both played for Australia as well. And Australia more comfortable now with a 2-1 lead. And that's been picked off by Dawson.
I don't know if he has a son, but there'll be some pressure on him.
Won't there be? 4 generations.
On his shoulders, if he does have one. He'll probably be into music or something.
It's incredible, won't it? So Dawson, now the Australians back in control of the game with 3 minutes to go. It'll be interesting to see how they play the game from here.
Well, probably much the same as they've played the first 57 minutes, which is just holding onto the ball almost exclusively. Just not giving New Zealand a look at it. So it'll be interesting to see what New Zealand try and do here. Will they think about pulling a keeper?
No sign of that just yet. George Innocent's still there with 2.5 to go.
I certainly think they'll get more aggressive in the press. So New Zealand have been pretty comfortable just coming into half court when Australia have had the ball, but now being down a goal with only just over 2 minutes to play, I think you'll see New Zealand try and pressure straight back.
Woods salvages the situation just for New Zealand, and Edwards did well to create space for himself there as Dane Lett. McAleese with just over 2 to play. There's Dylan Thomas. Tries to use those long limbs effectively, but he's been out-muscled on that occasion by Daniel Beale. And here comes the Australians again through Ogilvie. And now it's Witten coming into the circle. Almost a third goal there with the stick of Tim Brand looming again.
Certainly don't lack bravery. Tim Brand just throwing his body in here. You'll see the cross come from Witten on the replay here. Just cracks it, and you just see there, he's just down and on the ground, ready for the deflection, sort of no thought of self-preservation whatsoever.
Edwards with time ticking away now for the Black Sticks, down to under 90 seconds. And it's going to be New Zealand ball.
You got a call from Thomas in there, ruling that Dylan Thomas had rights to the ball, and any right he did have, he's just surrendered by throwing a very wayward pass over the sideline.
That was a soft turnover. Don't think there's any way we can describe that otherwise.
In some ways it probably typifies how things have gone for the Black Sticks, just being too loose, not enough quality in that attacking third, and here's a good opportunity for the Aussies.
Oh, beautifully played. There's a player right there. That's another goal, and it's gone in from Tom Wickham. New Zealand getting themselves in strife at the back of their defence there, and Wickham pounces.
Yeah, again, it was that man, Daniel Beale, getting a second assist of the night. So you can just see here, he's just floats on the edge of the circle. He knows the man's in there. I mean, it actually probably wasn't the execution he was intending on going for it, just sort of dribbled off his stick, but it was enough to get it into the path of Tom Wickham. So you can see it just eluded the stick of McAleese, who almost got it. There was certainly nothing dribbly about Tom Wickham's finish, though. He really put pay to that and put pay to the match as well. No way back for the Black Sticks now.
No, not with only 40 seconds to play.
Only Germany can score 2 goals in 40 seconds.
Oh, stop it. Here's Edwards. Tom Wickham getting his 25th goal in game number 55 for the Kookaburras. Russell. So let's see what he can cook up in these last few seconds. Russell into the circle. Still there for New Zealand. And it's a penalty corner right at the end of the game. New Zealand's first.
Well, 11 seconds on the clock. Good for Kane Russell here to get a sighter. Yeah, it looked like it did hit the foot of Andrew Hayward.
So
unfortunately, not just quite enough time really, is there? If they rifle this in, Australia will reasonably successfully be able to kill the remaining seconds of the match. All the same, it'll be good.
Well, it's good practice, isn't it?
Yeah, good to see this attacking corner bracket in action in the match.
So Lett's going to fire it to Kane Russell. Oh, he's missed it. And he's played it beautifully there to earn another penalty corner by just nudging it into the leg there of Tim Brand.
Yeah, it was pretty uncoordinated stuff from the Kiwis there, not really getting hold of that at all. It's doing enough to earn another PC. Hoping to execute this one a little bit better.
Well, Russell and Woods are going to get another chance. Dane Lett, the injector. There it goes. It's going to be Russell again. Saved into Charter. Another chance for New Zealand. It's just wide off the stick there of Kane Russell, and that's going to get the job done in game number 1 of the Sentinel Homes Trans-Tasman series, and it's the Kookaburras who claim the first scalp with 3 goals, 2 of them coming after half-time, winning the match by 3-1.
Yep, on the balance of things, you'd say the deserved result for the Australians. A little bit in it for New Zealand, but just not quite enough quality where it counted in the possession, the very dominant possession from the Australians in the end, yes, taking its toll.
Yes, Tim Brand with the first goal. It was after half-time, and Australia led 1-0 at the end of the third quarter. Then Mitten was the second goal scorer, and Wickham sealed it with that goal near the end. And Sean Finlay on debut for New Zealand got the equaliser midway through that fourth quarter. But it wasn't enough as Australia moved clear near the end of the match to win it by 3-1. We'll be back to wrap up this match for you right after this.
A new home is one of life's great adventures. Sentinel will help you enjoy the journey. Sentinel Homes. Design, build, enjoy.
Introducing the new Ford Escape ST Line X. Packed with the latest features so you can get moving, do more, and go further. Now available with Ford Assured Future Value Finance. No deposit needed, and at the end of your payment term, choose from a range of options, including upgrading to a new Ford. Search Ford Escape now. Ford, bring on tomorrow.
Then holding me back.
history has not been kind to our men on cricket's biggest stages.
He's got it! England have won the World Cup!
Now, Sky Sport proudly presents the biggest stage of all, the inaugural ICC World Test Championship Final. Don't miss the Black Caps versus India.
This is the ultimate test.
Live June 18, only on Sky Sport.
Well, game one is done and dusted here in the Sentinel Homes Trans-Tasman series for the men, with Australia winning it by 3-1. Let's go down to Lincoln Churchill now, who has the Australian captain, Eddie Ockenden, with him.
Well, Eddie, you'll be pleased with that second half performance, get the result?
Oh, yeah, definitely just pleased to be here, really. It was awesome to be back on the field, so nice to play the game, and yeah, we did okay in the second half, so it was a good start.
Yeah, pretty ruthless tempo out there. What did it feel like to play in that match?
Oh, look, it felt really good. It was a lot of fun. We want to challenge ourselves, and we've been training for a long time. So to play an international match was really good, and we love the challenge. So it was good to play a tough game. I think the tempo was a bit step up from training, which is good. And while we're here, and 4 games is awesome for us.
Yeah, well, all the best for the rest of it. Hopefully, it'll be a bit warmer.
Nah, it's all good. It's perfect. Yeah, cheers.
Thanks. Well, Hugo with the captain's band on there, a little bit of a knock to your teammate there.
Yeah, it was a bit tough to lose Taz early on. You know, he's a bit of a giant for us at the back, so a bit disappointed to lose him. But I thought, yeah, boys at the back especially got on really well with the job.
You must have thought you were looking okay for a result with about 4.5 minutes to go there.
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice against the Aussies when you go into the halftime break and you're well in the fight. I mean, they try to play a high pressure game and put you under the pump early on, so the boys definitely did well to withstand that, and you know, we tightened up a couple of things at the end there, and we're in with a hump with the corner at the end, so not too bad.
Yeah, well, all the best for the remaining 4 games. We look forward to seeing them.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
There we are, Hugo Ingles stepping in there for Blair Tarrant, who of course copped that nasty ricochet off the stick of an Australian player into the head in the first couple of minutes, and sadly we never saw him again. Here are the goals. There's the first one to Tim Brand. Came after half-time. Some beautiful lead-up work and a lovely pass from Beale there created the opportunity for Brand. So Australia led 1-0. What a pass that was from Beale. Almost a no-look pass, wasn't it? And Brand was good enough to get this deflection on the ball past the keeper, George Enison. Then New Zealand equalised. Australia just caught a little bit disorganised at the back, and Sean Finlay really made them pay with that terrific strike on the edge of the circle. Sean Finlay. Here's another look at it. Free hit right on the 25, taken quickly by Ingles, and Finlay just brought it into the circle and scored. 1-1 it was, and New Zealand probably fortunate to get back on level terms there, given how much the Australians were dominating possession. But then the Australians came through in the end with 2 good goals near the end of the contest. Enison stopped it again, but putting in the rebound was Trent Mitten. And Australia led 2-1. And then they sealed it at the end here. This is Harvey playing that ball in again. You can see Enison and then Mitten on the end of it to give the Australians a 2-1 advantage again. And then now the third goal, which was scored by Tom Wickham. Lovely delayed pass there, and Wickham, between the legs there of George Enison, sealed it for the Kookaburras. Another win for them over the New Zealand team. But New Zealand will be back to fight another day, and that day will be tomorrow, when we will see the Black Sticks and the Kookaburras in action in Game 2 of the Sentinel Homes Trans-Tasman series. As we look at the stats, circle entries continue to mount against New Zealand. The Australians really did effectively well in that statistical category, and they also converted those entries into 14 shots on goal, scoring from 3 of them. And New Zealand are going to have to create more circle entries and shots on goal in game number 2 when it rolls around tomorrow. So there we are, folks. Game number 1 of the men's series is all done, but we won't be too far away. In fact, we're 20 minutes away from the first of the women's matches, which is coming up at 7:30 New Zealand time, 5:30 of course Eastern Australian time. It's the Black Sticks against the Hockeyroos. We'll be with you in 20 minutes for the start of that contest.
The Sentinel Homes Trans-Tasman Series is proudly brought to you by Sentinel Homes and Hockey New Zealand in association with Vantage Windows and Doors, Computer Concepts Limited, Ford New Zealand, and Sky Sport, your home for hockey.